Well, Dan, I see you have a private chauffeur.
Yes, I'd recommend him, Steve. But he gets time and a half for Sundays in the house.
You heard it first. I didn't realize he was so ambitious.
Can you tell me where I can find a Dr. Steve Hardy?
Dr. Hardy?
I'm Dr. Hardy. What can I do for you?
Hi, I'm John Kirk, Assistant District Attorney. Need your signature on behalf of the hospital and a Mr. Dan Rooney's.
I'm Dan Rooney. What is it?
It's a complaint. District Attorney has decided to take the Corso oil swindle matter before the grand jury. And since the hospital is one of the major victims in the fraud, we'd like you to join in an indictment.
Do you really think you get an indictment, Mr. Kirk?
Yes, Doctor, we do. For conspiracy to defraud.
Who's named in the plea?
All the conspirators. Basil Durbin, Charles Sutton, Holly Sutton, Robert Scorpio, Luke Spencer.
I think we've established some sort of local land speed record.
It wasn't that bad. Come on.
All things considered.
Royal Native Canadian
Yeah.
Mounted Police. Thank you. What did we get that? There you go. Thank you very much.
Another one. Thank you.
Well, Oak Bay is just what Miss McTavish said it would be.
Yeah, we need to find his Holly now, and the whole thing will be complete.
We're close, Robert.
I don't know, mate.
Oh, no. No, she's here somewhere. I can feel it.
Why, Holly, how thoughtful of you. And autumn flowers are my favorites.
They're not for you.
Oh. Oh, I'm disappointed. Who's the lucky person?
They're for my mother's grave. I'm going to visit the cemetery before the bazaar.
Well, that's very touching. But out of the question.
What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. You're not going to the cemetery.
But I want to.
I said no.
Oh, the desk up there. It's a local one. This is us. And this is St. Luke's Church. Is that a relative?
Bad side of the family.
Right. This here's the Durbin estate here.
Robert, that's an enormous chunk of land.
Yeah, from the road down to the beach.
This would take a small army to defend.
I know what you're thinking, but forget it.
Look, she's locked up in that house. And we're just walking along here talking.
Which is the safest thing for all concerned.
I didn't live this long by playing it safe, pal.
Look, you've done all you can do. Now, Nanny McTavish said she would tell us if Holly's there. Give her some time.
No, Robert, I don't have time, you know. I'm going to go look at that place.
Look, you're not hearing me. Now, McTavish said if she's there, she's going to be at the bazaar. You can wait that long.
No, I can't wait that long. I'm going to go look at the house.
You're not thinking, mate.
If I stop to think, Robert, I'm going to get nothing accomplished.
Then I'll go with you, all right?
Why? Someone's got to be here in case Nanny McTavish calls.
Good, that can be you. I will go to the Durbin house.
Why me?
Because I know I'm not going to do anything stupid.
I will see you at the bazaar.
I hope.
As a new member of the hospital board, Mark, I think you ought to read this.
All right, thank you, Dan. I presume you're getting other signatures from other victims besides ours.
Yes, as many of those who suffered heavy losses as we can, Doctor. Since the offenders haven't been apprehended yet, we're seeking an indictment in absentia. And the more victims who join in our plea, the stronger our case.
Well, I can't speak for the entire hospital board, but I'm sure you can count on their support.
Well, I think there's one area we ought to discuss, Steve. I don't think Luke Spencer should be indicted. You, Mark?
Well, I'm certainly willing to listen to the arguments on either side, Dan.
Well, perhaps I should call an emergency board meeting.
It'd be hard-pressed to get a quorum on such short notice,
Yes,
Steve.
I know. I'll just have to combine the board of trustees with the medical board. Now, Mr. Kirk, could you come in a couple of hours? We should have an answer for you by then.
Sure, gladly, Doctor.
If you'll excuse me, I'll start calling the other board members.
Okay, I'll see you gentlemen later.
Fine. You get back to your room. I have a consultation now, so I can't deliver you personally, but I want you back there as soon as possible.
I'll take you, Mark.
Dear Jesse, thank you. Dan, Rita, you got to get some rest. You hear? Well, ladies.
Hello, Mark.
How are you?
Well, you look who's here. Dan, how nice to see you out of bed.
Thank you, Gail, but I've just been ordered back to rest for a while.
Jesse, if you're busy, I can take Dan up. Ruby, you're a love. That'll be a great help. Okay.
Excuse me. Hi, Jess.
We've been talking to the assistant district attorney. He's going to get the grand jury to hand down an indictment in the oil swindle.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Maybe you won't be when you hear the details. He's asked the hospital to join in the plea because we're one of the big losers.
Well, what's the matter with that, Dan? I mean, Lee says the hospital is the biggest stockholder of all that worthless stock.
But they want to indict Robert and Luke for the same crime.
I'm looking for a bike to rent for a couple hours, something fast, easy to handle.
How about a 5-speed Seeking?
Do you have anything with 3 wheels?
Oh, you ain't a card, aren't you, sir?
I guess I ain't.
Here. This will be $10 an hour.
All right.
$75 deposit.
$75?
$75.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, fine.
Hello there. Where's the vicar?
He's around the side, or at the back, setting out the mum plants for the raffle.
Thank you. Oh, what a nice display. Oh. Hello, Vicar.
Nanny McTavish, as I live and breathe. What a surprise.
Oh, and why is it now? I've attended every church bazaar day in the years you've known me.
Ah, yes. And if only we could have our beloved Margaret Durbin with us to share the day.
I'm sure she's here, Vicar, in spirit, and I trust her darling Holly will be here to represent her mother and the family.
Oh, I had no idea that Percy and the family were in residence.
I believe they've just arrived.
And Holly, is she with them on this trip?
Well, I haven't talked to her yet, but I'm sure she is. And if so, I'm sure she'll want to visit her mother's grave.
It would be wonderful if we could have her for the bazaar, too.
Well, then perhaps you should drive over and extend a personal invitation.
I say, that's a very good idea.
If you like company, I'll just ride along with you.
Oh, capital, capital.
Oh,
Let's
right.
go.
Good idea.
Father, now that we have the money here, shouldn't we discuss the next step?
I see no need for a discussion, Basil.
Well, it has to be distributed, not to mention laundered.
I'm well aware of that.
Well, shouldn't we make some plans?
I've already made the plans. That's why no discussion is necessary.
I see. Well, what are these plans? I have a right to know.
In my family, Basil, all rights derive from me.
Well, you're going to tell me?
Yes, I was about to, when you began prattling about your rights. The money is going to be transported from here to Vancouver by car on the ferry.
I know that, Father. I've already arranged for the family to assemble there.
And when they're all gathered, I shall divide the money as usual, to each his fair share.
In unlaundered U.S. cash?
Yes. And then I'm going to assign a destination to each member of the family. And he will go to that destination with his share of the money to whatever city or country I designate and launder the money there.
You've forgotten one small detail.
Really?
When do we go to Vancouver?
When you have taken care of the Spencer-Scorpio problem. Do you have any more stupid questions?
No, Father, no. Your word is law, as usual.
I'm going to assume that that comment is meant as sarcasm, and I'm going to ignore it. But you would be well advised to take the comment as gospel. My word is law, and don't you ever forget it. Now, as to our friend Luke Spencer and the Australian...
Father, when we take the money to Vancouver...
Shh, wait.
I beg your pardon.
Thought I heard something. Hello, Holly, my dear. Come on in. Basil and I were just having a little chat.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
Not at all.
Actually, there's something I want to do. I'm sure you won't mind.
Try to be understanding whenever you want anything. What is it you'd like to do?
I'd like to take some flowers to my mother's grave.
Thank you.
I tell you, Rose, this is about the best hamburger I have ever eaten. It's
well,
wonderful.
you know, they're better than you think because they're on the house. Now, what did we do to deserve that? Well, to tell you the truth, I'm just really happy they didn't foreclose on the Star.
We all are, believe me, thanks to sweet little Noah. You know that he paid the delinquent payments for us, don't you?
I heard all about it, and I tell you, it's just like him to do something like that. What a sweetheart.
How do you expect anybody to get any work done around here? What? The hamburgers. Can I have one?
Got it, coming right up.
Thank you very much.
I'll get it.
No, I'll get that.
Okay.
You cook. Thank you very much. Kelly's Diner.
Joe, it's Ruby.
I recognize the voice. What's up, Rube?
Something I don't like, and I don't think you will either. There was an assistant district attorney here to see Steve.
What did he want?
Oh, I don't know all those fancy legal words, but the gist of it is the district attorney wants the grand jury to indict the Corsos. And the hospital is supposed to sign on as one of the victims.
Oh, that's proper, Rube.
As a matter of fact, it's a good idea.
I imagine that he would be charging them with conspiracy to defraud.
Well, that's the way he explained it. Steve's called an emergency meeting of the board to see if the hospital wants to get in on it.
Well, I can't imagine why they wouldn't. They were one of the principal losers.
There's more, Joe.
And what is that?
The district attorney is naming Robert and Luke in the same indictment.
Are you sure about that?
Absolutely. That's why I thought you ought to know.
Ruby, I'll be right over.
Rose, cancel my burger. I gotta go to the hospital.
Why? What happened?
The DA is going for an indictment against Charles and Basil. Conspiracy to defraud.
Well, it's about time they got on the
Guess who else he's naming as co-conspirators?
Robert and Luke.
You got it.
But that's ridiculous. Is there something you can do?
Well, the board is going to meet on it to decide if they want to go ahead with the thing, and all I can do is at least try and talk.
All we can do is go with you.
Yes, I'm going with you, too. Hey, Martha, will you take over for me? I'm going to go on over to the hospital. I'll be back in a bit. It's absolutely outrageous. I cannot believe it. We actually do something like this.
Holly, my dear, I hope you'll understand. I find your desire to place a floral tribute on your mother's grave to be most commendable.
Then why can't I go?
Because in this case, Basil is quite right. This is not the time to pay a visit to the cemetery.
It's altogether too risky.
What risk can there possibly be in visiting a grave?
Because of the bazaar, my dear. The churchyard and grounds are going to be swarming with people, and the cemetery, too, no doubt. And this is not the time to call undue attention to the family. But... I'm sorry, my dear. Permission is denied. And now, the subject is closed.
Holly seems disturbed.
There's nothing to be concerned about, Charles. Sit down. Now, let's discuss the plan of action. Huh, Vancouver? Precisely. I've asked the other members of the family to join us there.
When?
Right away. As soon as the conditions are right. With Spencer and company running around, we've got to be very careful of every step we take.
I agree. Of course, Charles. Oh, what is that supposed to mean? I mean that you never disagree with anything Father ever said.
Implying that you do disagree, Basil?
No. I think Vancouver is the obvious plan.
Good. Because I'm counting heavily on your contribution to the safety of this plan.
Deal with it.
Now, I think we can assume that Spencer and company have not gone to the DIM yet, or we would have heard about it.
Yeah, Spencer prefers working without official interference.
Apparently. And that's where you come in, Basil. They have not approached the DIM with what they know as yet. See that they never do. Understand what I mean by this?
General Hospital will continue in a moment.